So, Stefan, before you get to your last story, I wanted to hear from you about there was European Union elections, and it got a lot of media coverage because of the, claimed as a green victory and the illustrative of how concerned people are with climate. And as somebody who knows more about Europe than certainly I do, and probably a lot of people in our audience, what's your take on what's happened there?
Yeah, so if you look at the headlines, it looks like climate change policies are real, election winner. But so when we look at reality, what did happen is that the Greens in Germany, in terms of European elections, did some get got some gains. So they actually gained 19 seats over their 50 seats they won in 2014, and now they are at 69 seats out of 751 in the European Parliament. And so much of that gain came from the German part of the election. So you have sort of elections organized by the different nations in the European Union. And so the Greens in Germany got over 20% of the vote. So now they are at around 9% of the seats. So, but the real story would be, if you were an unbiased reporter, would be that actually sort of the center liberal, and liberal in the sense of classical liberal coalition, from various nation states in the European Parliament, they are actually got many more seats than the Greens, and they won 40 seats and are now at 107 to 109. So I saw different counts. The election was just this weekend, so it's not maybe not a final settle on this, but they actually gained 40 seats, so double the seats that the Greens won, and they are actually the third largest group behind the conservatives, or sort of conservatives, and the democratic socialists, which are classically the two leading factions in the European Parliament. So if you would approach this and, who has actually won this election, it would be, so the conservatives lost and the democratic socialists lost, but they're still the biggest blocks in this parliament. But a real winner would be sort of the centrist liberal. So you could argue that the green agenda was kind of rejected. And of course, on a country level, it's a totally different story. The Greens actually lost in some countries. Most of the gains came from Germany and France, which of course account for a lot of the votes because of their population size.
Yeah, I mean, it just reminds me of how the growth of renewables is portrayed. It's like, they're growing more rapidly than all the alternatives, and
Yeah.
what you think is that they're overtaking everything, and what is it's these marginal
Right.
improvements, but given their kind of starting point, it's just not that impressive.